Hello to all those of you looking to go onward and upward with your small business. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Pamela Metani. I am a business lawyer and entrepreneur by trade, and of course the owner and founder here at Graphene Business Law, a law firm offering services to people just like myself, so I really know what you're going through, business owners and entrepreneurs throughout the province of Ontario, Canada, and doing so virtually, so you don't ever have to leave your room. Although you can if you want to. And you probably should a little bit to go out there and network and talk about yourself and your business offerings. Now, and if you're a returning viewer, by the way, you will know we're definitely in a little bit of a different setting today. So pardon what I anticipate will come across as a little bit darker visual, but hopefully the audio is still worthwhile. Now that we have this channel organized by like beginner's playbook and experienced playbook, today would go a little bit more on the beginner's playbook kind of side. Although, of course, if you're anything like myself, constantly looking to stay on top of trends and stay on top of what's going on and refresh and make sure you're, sharp with the beginners sometimes can be some of the sharpest people in business, right? Because they're really coming out of the gate hungry. So all that to say, even if you're more experienced, you can still watch on, and I thank you and welcome you to do so. So it's no secret that it's a really tough time out there financially in the world, and I think it will continue to be. Outside of being a business owner or a lawyer, I see this, I see it in real estate. I see it in precious metals. I see it in all these other different industries. It's a very, very hard time in the world, especially to be going into sustaining yourself, your family, whoever you have to support exclusively through your own business, the eat what you kill method, right? It might not be as bad a time to be on salary. It's a hell of a hard time to be, again, eating exclusively what you kill. And that's a business term. I'm not actually talking about killing. Again, if you're on the beginner side, that's not what I'm talking about. So what do I, as an experienced business owner, experienced business person, what do I recommend you focus on now that times are really tough? One thing and one thing only, and that is creating value, being very clear about the value you are creating, I should say, if I'm gonna myself be clear in what I'm articulating. So we'll talk a bit about this in a few minutes, but I want to tell you about the other side first. So when the economy is good, is booming, people have money to spend, that is a more opportunistic time in the market where a better thing to do might be focusing on saving others time, saving others money, saving others headache, so peace of mind. All of these things that impact us as human beings behind the business. When it's a good time, right? When people have money to spend in order to get back a few hours in the day. When people have money to put into the system to get back, 2x of their dollar. Ideally like a 10x or a 50x, but a 2x is still a starting point, right? When people are driven by the excitement out there and the good things that they can do. When times are tough in the economy, people are looking to survive. That comes before the thriving. Surviving, then thriving. And you'll know that, and I know that as a human that has been through, just really, really the bad side of life, and also now made it to the good side solely through her own work. But all that to say, I know, and you'll know from experience as well, if my story sounds familiar to you, that ahead of thriving, we first have to survive whatever we're in right now. And for a fellow business owner, that might be surviving the bills. It might be surviving, their insane landlord. It might be surviving somebody else copying their idea and potentially blasting them out of business because they're a better well-known player in the space. Survival itself also looks different for everybody, right? But if you can nuance in to what you have reason to believe survival looks like to a lot of other people, whether they're business owners or not, you should be the business owner, right? You watching this video are the one with the business model. You can then package together something to those people that brings them very clear value to their surviving. Again, you can of course also create a product or service that is going to be geared toward helping wealthy people thrive in tough times. They're not hurting nearly as bad, right? Sometimes they're actually going up, their portfolios are going up during better times, especially depending on the asset classes you have. Myself, I like to take part of different asset categories, and as much as my like real estate portfolio right now is like bleeding, my like precious metals holdings are through the roof, because gold, for example, performs opposite to the times we're in. So if we're in really good times, gold is okay. If we're in really bad times, gold is wow. So, you can also cater to the wealthy. Like, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm pointing out the fact that pyramids are heavily biased toward the bottom. So during times of economic downturn, recession, depression, whatever the case may be, most people will also be struggling. So if you're going to be looking for that bigger pool of fish to fish in, you might want to tap into the everyday struggle. Again, you might want to maybe go for a pool that has less fish, but those fish are individually a lot more valuable, like working with ultra wealth individuals, for example, right? That's your choice. But by pointing out the pattern that a lot of people are struggling right now, and a lot of those struggles are going to overlap, there's still good opportunity there for you to figure out what your very clear value proposition is. You can very clearly do what that matters to who and why. And obviously the how can you do it, right? Like, are you going to be really quick about it? Are you going to be really cost efficient about it? Are you really, because people are feeling the pain points, right? They're feeling the pain points of expensive, of take so long, of bringing me down. So what is your value proposition as regards that struggle? Now, by way of bonus FYI, your value proposition, you'll notice in life, goes up as your self-investment goes up. It's really hard, and not to be too crude, but it's a lot harder to fool the wealthy than the non-wealthy. Let's put it in a complimentary way than saying just poor, although I guess I just said it. But nonetheless, it is still hard to fool anyone when you have a lot of cracks in your own facade, when you have not adequately invested in yourself. So before we talk to others about value, the bonus bit of knowledge is going to be to bump up your value all the way that you can within the lane you're playing in, right? You don't have access to Jeff Bezos, educational resources. Neither do I, for what it's worth. Otherwise, you'd see me on that list with him. But that net worth list, I mean. But, there are places like Coursera is a platform with free courses. You can upgrade your knowledge for free. LinkedIn, I think, has some free courses, although I'm not on LinkedIn, so I can't tell you like this and that. But I remember when I was, there were like free courses on LinkedIn. Calling somebody that does something that you're interested in by way of like the business that you run, right? And not calling your dream client, because you don't want to call them with what I'm about to say, but calling like your, fellow business person kind of thing, and asking them if you can shadow them for a day so you get practical development on site. That's free. You probably have to take them out to lunch or something, right? So arguably there's some cost there, but it's not $75,000 annual tuition like the rest of us paid. So there are all these ways you can upgrade your skills, your knowledge, phone calls for free, and so on and so forth. And again, you're going to want to make sure that your self-development is cranked up all the way to max, whatever your max is right now. Hopefully your max a year from now is going to look really different, and your max 5 years from now will be completely different. But you're going to have a max now too, and it's going to be a pretty good max because we're talking about the max. So crank yourself up to the max so you can put together a polished value proposition that is in tune with what your dream client is going through. And maybe your dream client, maybe that's not even who you're going after now, right? Your dream client might be a Coca-Cola and a Walmart, but the best you can get right now is, Jimmy John's convenience. And that's okay, by the way, right? Jimmy John's still is worth all your dignity and respect, as are you worth all of Jimmy John's dignity and respect. But you're going to want that very clear value proposition. You can do what for them in what manner. people are struggling. Make yourself valuable to then make your business valuable. And once you have those, go offer that value proposition to whoever is willing to listen far and wide. Thank you so much for watching this video. Next week, I'll bring it back to the more experienced side of business owner and issues that'll be interesting to you if you're in that camp. And if not, I mean, these are not like mutually, it's not forbidden that you watch each other's videos, right? These are, anybody can watch anything I post, and I encourage you to. I wish I had this platform when I was growing up. I wish I had somebody to share these tips and tricks when I was, first starting in the business world. I've had to learn things the very hard way, which, mind you, is why I can so comfortably speak on them today, because the lessons been there, the, good stuff been there, the bad stuff been there. But all that to say, thanks again for watching. If you have questions, whether on the beginning or the advanced side, again, these are not mutually exclusive. Let me know down below. Comments are like one of the best part of taking time out of my day to post for free on YouTube. So I love the comments, and of course, give this video a thumbs up and click subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.